Well, hello, YouTube. How's it going? This is Brian Engelman. This is the Unhappy Hour. I tried going live the other day, and YouTube would not let me go live. Not shocking, not surprising. Just another day, another spot of weirdness. Nothing. We just want to go through what's happening in the news. Of course, the Golden State Warriors are up against the wall, trailing 3-1 to the Toronto Raptors. The Raptors are in really good shape now to win this thing. This would be the game you want to win. They're going to be bringing back Kevin Durant, allegedly. He's going to try to play. I don't know. I don't know how severe that calf injury is. I heard that he didn't look good at practice. We're going to find out. What's up, Christopher John? Yeah, thanks for watching. This was a test to make sure that YouTube will still let me go live. I can read your comment, which is good. Can I like your comment? No, I can report it or remove it or put you in a timeout. Interesting. So it's set up right now for one of two things to happen. One, either the Toronto Raptors are going to win this series, and I'm going to be happy because it's going to be such a whimper. It's going to be the Warriors going out on such a lousy, sour note. It's just going to be so reminiscent of the 2015 championship that the Warriors won over the very injured Cleveland Cavaliers team, with Kevin Love having his shoulder ripped out of his socket and Kyrie blowing out his kneecap in Game 1. Heck, the Cavs even almost had that series won for a minute there. So I would love to see that personally. And then the flip side of that would be, what if Kevin Durant comes back and leads the charge for a 1-3 series deficit, coming back in the way that only LeBron James and the Cavaliers were ever able to in NBA Finals history. So this is going to be historic. You know, this might even be the end of a run, the end of an era for the Warriors. Who knows if Klay Thompson re-signs with them? Who knows if Kevin Durant moves along in the offseason to Brooklyn or to New York? In other news, David Ortiz was shot in Puerto Rico. And then, that could have been this random thing or maybe a bar fight. I mean, he's literally sitting at this bar or restaurant, whatever. Someone walks in and shoots him about 2 feet away in the back. It missed all his vital organs. He's stable after surgery. This guy is lucky. Apparently, the crowd grabbed the gunman and beat him severely. So I don't know. Very curious to see what was going on with that. I'm not a super big David Ortiz fan necessarily, being a Cleveland Indians fan, of course. I don't care much for the Red Sox, but you never want to see stuff like this happen. So that's a story I'm going to be watching. Cavs general manager, New Orleans Pelicans general manager, former Cavaliers general manager, David Griffin has laid out the terms for what he wants in a Anthony Davis trade. And it's steep. It's like an all-star and several first-round picks. And there's very few teams that exist that have that kind of firepower other than the Celtics. So I don't know if Anthony Davis is going to get dealt prior to the draft. I think that's when the Pelicans want to make a decision. So we're going to find out about that. Keep your eyes peeled. You know, it's about to get really interesting with the NBA draft. Now that the lottery is complete. And with the offseason moves, see if there's going to be some trades being made. And, of course, what happens in the finals. Will Kawhi Leonard want to stay? Is Kawhi out? Is he gone either way? KD, same thing. Is he staying? Is he going? Is it already determined? Is it decided? Who knows? Put in for our press passes today for the 2019 All-Star Game in Cleveland. For about 6 weeks, we've been submitting what we thought was the application process. And unfortunately, we had like 10 or 15 different people bouncing us to different departments to get it squared away. Now I think we enter the official press pass application process. So hopefully we can lock that in, confirm that. And then once we do, we're going to be planning a trip to Cleveland, and hopefully we can meet with you all there for the All-Star Game for Cleveland versus the World. I believe that's a celebrity game. And then for the All-Star Game, of course. So that's on the horizon as well. On the Cleveland Browns front, trying to figure out what's going on with Austin Corbett. Early reports from training camp are saying that he's not looking good. Like he might not even be able to step in and be the starter. That's going to prove very crucial since we dealt our starting offensive lineman to the Giants for Odell Beckham. If we can't keep Baker Mayfield upright, we're not going to have time to pass it. So not incredibly promising there, but camp is early. We'll see what happens and if any other players are cut and if we make some late roster adjustments. Duke Johnson still not happy, still wants out of Cleveland. We'll see what happens on that front. Obviously, we're missing Kareem Hunt for the first half of the season, roughly. So, it's nice to have somebody filling in behind Nick Chubb. But we'll see. I expect him to be moved. He's not really happy. Jarvis Landry. Jarvis has not been practicing with an injury. They're thinking it's a hamstring. Not really talking much about it. So just keep your eyes on that. You don't want to see these injuries piling up. And Austin Corbett, that was a very high draft pick, the number one pick in the second round, I believe, last year from John Dorsey. He was supposed to step in and start being one of the new anchors of that offensive line. And if he's struggling, that could be tough. Chris is saying it's working. Test some buzzwords. Yeah, not this second. I know. I get your point. I did do a good interview. One of my friends, journalist Ford Fisher, he was caught up in the YouTube Vox adpocalypse that took on Steven Crowder. And a history teacher. So we had Ford on the other day. The video was instantly demonetized. So I guess you can't talk about demonetization or else that means you get demonetized. You can say, oh, it's a private company all you want. No, there's something really wrong with what YouTube is doing. And I'm communicating to you today through YouTube. I used to really like this platform. This used to be a place where we could all get together and have good conversations. And now you can't talk about being demonetized, wrongfully demonetized, without then in turn being demonetized. Essentially being demonized. So it's dark days for YouTube. I don't know what the rival to this platform is going to look like, but I'm very curious. I don't know if it's Gab or BitChute or Steemit or DTube. I've seen a lot. I haven't really messed around with it because I don't know. I'm just not using it. But you reach a point where it's a private company, so Amazon's not going to be able to deliver you your stuff. Now that they kept their prices artificially low, they ran all of the box stores and all the mom and pop stores out of business. Now it's kind of there's only one place you can go to get decent prices on stuff. Well, they won't sell to you if you don't have a certain political leaning. Same with Google. You can't just use your email anymore. Nope, no email for you. What about the internet? Nope, we don't like your internet service provider. Nope, can't do that. Well, they're private companies. They can do what they want. We've just reached a boiling point with all of these social media platforms and these tech companies. Are these monopolies? Are these private platforms? Are these essentially public utilities where a place like Twitter, that's where you get USGS reports. That's where you can find out if there's tornadoes and hurricanes and earthquakes and emergency alerts. Like what? The area you live in, it only has Time Warner cable, and Time Warner didn't give you a high enough social media score like China's doing. Okay, so I guess you can't have Time Warner cable. Now you just can't have cable or internet. You can't have internet. You can't get cell phone coverage because it's a private company, and Verizon doesn't want to do business with you if you don't have the right political leanings. I mean, you can't get gasoline at the gas station. You go down the list here and you start realizing that this is entering a very dangerous territory. And that's why I'm interviewing the people that I'm interviewing. That's why I'm having the conversations I'm having. I like to think I'm a pretty reasonable, rational, level-headed dude. I just like connecting with you and telling stories and talking about what's going on. Obviously, I like the sports. I like checking on the Indians, Cavs, Browns, and Buckeyes, obviously. But life's bigger than that. So we do the current event show called Agree to Disagree. So subscribe, hit the notification bar. I just want to test this out, give you a brief overview of what's going on. I fully intend to have an NBA draft preview show coming up with former NBA scout Zach Barris. and do like a mock draft real soon. Hopefully after the Toronto Raptors win. Maybe I'll go live tonight if/when the Raptors win to wrap up this series. It's clear watching this series that there's a lot of height, a rebounding advantage, length. There's just a lot more tall guys, and just Marc Gasol. I didn't know he had this much left in the tank. What a great pickup. What a great pickup. Pascal Siakam. That dude's got go-go gadget arms out there. So you see what's happening with the Raptors. I'm kind of not surprised. And they've had injuries. You know, Clay's been injured, and obviously KD being injured, the best player on their team. I'll be pretty impressed. But like I said, I'm not going to count my eggs before they hatch with this one. I've seen teams come back from a 1-3 deficit. Go Cleveland, 2016. All right, so thanks for watching. I'll talk with you again soon with some more updates. The Indians are only a game and a half back of the second wild card spot in the American League. So, I mean, it's been a rough season so far, playing right around 500 baseball. But we took a few against the Yankees, took a few against the Twinkies. If we can start pulling together some 2 out of 3, 3 out of 4, start winning these series that we're going up against, get a couple sweeps, maybe get a couple winning streaks in there. We'll be right back in the thick of things, looking for October baseball to remember. And a lot of times you just got to punch the ticket, You just got to get your admission to the dance. Once you're in the playoffs, who knows? Who knows what can happen, especially when you have the pitching that the Indians have. We've been down so many starting pitchers. No, I don't have any update on Carlos Carrasco. I would love an update on Danny Salazar if you guys can give me one. I was trying to dig in and find an update yesterday, and I was slow going. But obviously Mike Clevenger is getting ready to return for the Tribe coming up shortly. And then Corey Kluber hoping to come back at some point this year. We'll see when. So the Indians are battling. Zach Plesac has looked really good. Coming up from AAA. Shane Bieber's looked good. So, the Indians being around 500 at this point, and none of our hitters really hitting. And Jose Ramirez being really, really ice cold. Being 500 is kind of an accomplishment. Maybe we can credit Tito Francona a little bit for that. In Tito we trust. So anyhow, we'll keep you updated on all that stuff coming up. We'll do more. But this was mainly a test of the emergency broadcast system. This is only a test.